What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Appreciate y'all dropping in and checking this video out. Kind of warm one here. 90 degrees or plus. Still got this hot weather. I'm ready for fall. I don't know about you guys, but tired of the hot weather. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the tractor toolboxes and what you may have in your toolbox, and you know, what I carry in mind, and hopefully I can get some feedback from you guys and leave some comments as to what you guys may carry in your toolboxes that would be helpful, you know, when you're out for a day of work and you know, may have a problem, breakdown, need a quick repair, wrenches, tools, whatever. But anyway, I think, let me know if you disagree, but I think from what I've seen on most of these utility type tractors, compact type tractors, they don't really give you a whole lot in the way of what I would say would be a sufficient toolbox from the factory. You know, they could definitely, you know, as much as you pay for these tractors, they could definitely give you a little bit better toolbox and a little larger toolbox. That's the other thing. It's so small, you can, you know, you really can't carry a whole lot of stuff in there. So going to look at what I've actually got. A couple of toolboxes here. The toolbox here that you see was not the original. I replaced this. This is actually a Craftsman toolbox I got from Lowe's, a little bit larger. And then when I've got the box blade in this carry rack on the back, you'll see here I've got one of the ammo cans, and you know, it kind of goes with not saying the you know, there's a lot of videos online with people that have replaced their original toolbox or added like the ammo can. So that kind of is another thing that says, hey, the toolbox that come with these things is not very adequate. But anyway, we'll go over and look and see what I got in here, and then what I got on the one on the back. I keep the box plate on there probably 90% of the time, so I've got those tools at my disposal most of the time. So let's get in close and we'll take a look at what I got in here. Okay, as I say, this is a Craftsman toolbox, got from Lowe's actually. It's longer, deeper, wider, everything than the one that came on it, so we'll hold a little bit more than the one that came on it. This coyote logo, that's something I got off some yard art that I ordered. I'll show you up front the coyote. You might have seen some of this in my other videos. The cutout of the coyote that I stuck on the front grill, that came it was actually a piece of yard art that I cut the coyote off and put the wording back here. Just looking somewhere to put it. But anyway, let's open up this thing and see what we got in here. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to spread all this stuff out back here on the rack, and we'll talk about exactly what's in here. Get a close look at it. Give me just a minute. Alright, here we go. I got everything spread out in this rack back here. So starting out, a hammer. I think that's always a great thing to have in your toolbox. Whether you need to, you know, assist on beating a pin in a hole or out of a hole, or sometimes if you're using the disc and the soil's a little damp, you know, it'll kind of accumulate on the disc blades. It's good to come by with the hammer, knock the disc blades off, stuff like that. And then of course the channel locks. You know, everybody needs a pair of channel locks in their toolbox. Vice grips, needle nose. This is one of those little chainsaw multi-tools. When I put the chainsaw in the saw hall and go out to do something, I may not necessarily always remember to bring the toolbox that I got my chainsaw tools in, so I always got this on the tractor, you know, as a tool for the saw. Got a smaller, like an 8-inch crescent wrench there, multi-screwdriver, pin for the drawbar there, or the top link. There's another pin there that goes in the top link. Got some metric wrenches of various sizes there. I think most of the sizes that are on the Coyote I've got in that set of wrenches there, just to cover anything I need to do metric wise. Got a tire plug kit. I've seen a couple cases where it run over something sharp, get a hole in the tire, at least you can plug it, maybe get back to the house, or you know, maybe you got to run back to the house, get the air tank, plug it, then get back to the house. Whatever the case may be, I think it's good to have one of those, just, you know, to get you by in a, you know, tight situation. Got a flashlight there in case you know, I'm out at night doing something and need to shine the light under the tractor if something gets hung up or whatever. Of course, every toolbox needs a couple of rags. This I have found to be a real handy tool. This is a spud wrench, and I don't know, maybe this might be about a 12, 14-inch spud wrench, but it's basically an adjustable wrench, And then it almost acts like a pry bar. There's some of the 3-point implements that actually, instead of having the pins like this, they actually have the holes through the through the bars that you actually back this between. This is not so much on this tractor because you got the adjustable links, but sometimes you can stick that in the hole and kind of line up the thing here, or if you're having trouble getting your top link quite right, you can stick that in the hole and kind of help line things up. So it works really good. I actually keep that on the Massey most of the time, but I need to pick up a second one for this tractor. So it's a little bit long to go in either one of my toolboxes, but you can always find a hole or a slot to stick it in. Back in here, we can probably just do something like that. Stick it right down in there and keep it on the tractor all the time. So taking a look at the what's in the top tray here. Got a couple wire connectors there. Those are some of the connectors that I used tying in some of my wiring that where I added some lights on the roll cage, and some of the other the 4-wheel drive light I added and everything. So got a couple of those. Bug spray, you know when you're gonna need that. Got a small can. Looks like the top is broke off of that, but got a small can of WD-40 there. That always got to have the WD-40 in the toolbox for sure. So I can get that back on there. Okay, a couple little inch pins there, a permanent marker, a couple different colors, wire ties. Got to have some wire ties in there. Got a couple different varieties of those and links. A couple little cutters, diagonal cutters there. For the old people like me, you got to have the readers. And let's see, I just got a pin there. And got a paint marker. Some of the markers that we mark the bolts to make sure we don't have anything coming loose. So got one of those. Air gauge. Got a knife in there. And more link pins. The blue Loctite. So I've got that in there. Might have seen in one of my earlier videos, and I've seen a lot of talk about this on forums and stuff, about some of the loader bolts coming loose. Specifically on this tractor, the only thing I've had a problem with is these little retainer clips here for the grease fittings on the loader. A few of those down in the lower section there came loose early on, and I decided just to go ahead and put a drop of blue Loctite on all of them, and haven't had a problem with any of them since. So that comes in handy. And what I got right here, it actually looks like it might be a little weathered. I might have to redo this. But because I got a couple of different tractors and trying to remember the tire pressures and everything, so I made up a little cheat sheet there. So when I'm checking the tire pressures, which I try to do about every 10-20 hours or so, I got my little cheat sheet. Like I said, I might have to rewrite that. Some of these things looking a little worn. But any little notes that you if you're like me, I might have notes in my phone. It's hard to remember all these things when you get old. But I try to keep any of that kind of stuff in the toolbox as well. Alright, well, let me open up the ammo box I got on here, and we'll get all that stuff spread out here. Alright, I got the stuff emptied out of the ammo can. So, starting over here, these are some max strength reusable straps. They're kind of like giant cable ties, but you can strap them and they unclick so you can reuse them for things or whatever. Sometimes that'll come in handy if you got a hose that needs to be strapped up out of the way or things like that. I found these are very, very useful. These Rapids. It's a Velcro. There's a couple different sizes on this pack here. It says there's 10, 13, and 17 inch. I'll show you up front what I'm using those for. Got the grapple on here now, and the hydraulic hose is coming from the third function. You can see I got the Rapid strap right there. A couple of those to keep that hose, and something else I just found this recently. I keep it in the toolbox unless I'm got it on these mega clamps. So there again, I just put that around there to ensure that those hoses aren't going to go anywhere. So that's another thing, I'll keep it in the toolbox if I'm not not using the grapple or anything I need to. But it's just a general purpose item that you can use to strap anything up. Even these hoses here, hanging down from the hydraulic top link, you could probably clamp those together or something with those. I got a carabiner in there, got some more paper towels. You never know when you're out there sweating, working on something, or you get a cut or whatever. You need another rag, a little piece of rope, got a lighter, always burning some brush, things like that. Got a tape measure in there. That's probably overkill, but you never know when you want to measure something, come back to the house and cut a board. A couple more hitch pins. This guy right here goes on the drawbar. If I'm trying to pull something with a chain, I've got this ring here, which works pretty good, but I've also got that one that you can hook a chain right into fork there. So keep that in that toolbox. Another little bag there with more hitch pins and linch pins and clips of all sorts. So anyway, and then a few other things. I don't really have them in the toolbox, but it's always good to have a few little. I've got a few little straps up here if I've got something that I'm carrying in this little holder up here. But anyway, I think that's going to do most everything that we've got for this video. So hopefully you guys will comment and let me know some of the things you carry in your toolbox that may fit the purpose. And anyway, I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll talk at you later. See you.